Hi, I'm Sherry McGill, and you're watching Lessons Learned. Welcome back to the Vintage Mystery So Long series. Today I have block number 11, and it's just a basic heart. I did not even find this in the Encyclopedia of Quilt Blocks, but we know that the heart shape has been in vintage quilts since time memoriam, so we're going to use it. And it's a very easy block. It's, again, a 4-quadrant type of block. And we're going to need 2 6.5-inch squares of background, 4 2-inch squares, and then 2 6.5-inch squares of solid, and the same of print. So I have those all here. The way I have this pattern laid out, there is some waste. So if you're concerned about conserving fabric, then go ahead and cut your triangles out and sew them together. If you're okay with cutting a triangle and sewing that bias seam there together. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and create myself an extra half square triangle. It's not really a half square triangle. It is, but it's not done in the same typical way. These ones we're just going to sew a line right down the center and cut that extra off, and then you'll have another piece that you can sew together, or just keep those triangles for another project. But as I say, if you want to cut out 6.5-inch triangles, 2 sides that are 6.5, cut it on the bias on your solid and your background, and then your print and your background, and sew those together. You're welcome to do it that way, whichever is easier for you. For me, I like working with squares, so I think I'll just go ahead and put these together and run my seam right down from corner to corner. And you can mark these first if you want with a pencil and follow that line to sew with, or I have seam tape on, so I'm just going to follow my red line. So let's go ahead and sew all of these together. On these two, we're going to take our 2 individual, or we have 4, and we're going to take those 2, and you can mark a line on here, set it here, and sew from here to here. These ones, I think I can use my seam tape line to accomplish that. So you're going to do 2 of them on your solid block, not your background, but your solid color block, and then 2 on your print block, like this. So this way and this way, and that'll make the roundness of your top of your heart. Okay, on these 2, depending on which side you want your solid on and which side you want your print on, you're going to have to cut these and then lay them out in that way. So what I'm going to do first before I cut these is, this one won't matter. Yeah, it will. If I want it on the left side, then I'm going to have to cut this side. I don't think it's going to matter on that one. No matter which side I cut, I can turn those. There, that's right. So I'll just cut a 1/4 inch on one side of this. And then on this one, it's going to be on this, I want it to be, let's see, like this. But I really wanted these birds to be over here. But that's going to make them go sideways. So I might just use this side, because I have birds in my top piece. So I think I might just use this one that just has leaves and flowers on it. So I will cut on this side. And then on these, we're just going to cut I can just go ahead and do it. I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch from here. And then you can press, this is a flip and stitch, so you can press towards your corner, or you can press open, or you can press down. Doesn't really matter because it's not really intersecting with any other seam, so whichever makes sense with the colors that you're using as far as how to do that. I usually just press all of mine open, as you know. And so then that will, let me show you. So that's the top of half of the heart. And so then we'll do that same thing on this side. And there's your other half of your heart. So it's a big heart because we're doing a 12.5 inch block. So let me go ahead and do some ironing and some trimming of these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we can just put our pieces together here in the order they should be in. That's the bottom of the heart, so I'm going to stitch here. And then this is the top, and I will do it opposite like this. So there's this a heart. Okay, let's do it. Here you want to line up your seams, this seam right here, so that your heart's not off kilter there in the middle. I've got quite a bit of a difference here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and square these two to 6 1/4 so that they'll be sure and be sewn in the right position. That was 6 1/2, not 6 1/4. That's why it's important to watch the entire video before you start cutting and trimming. Just want to make sure these are lined up down here. Okay. There we go. So now I can match these centers up. You can use a pin or a clip, or you can just wing it like I do. Just kind of look and see how it's ending up on the ends, and if it's not too far off, just go for it. Make sure your middle seams are matched. Okay, there it is. So let me go give this a good pressing, starching, and trimming. I'll be right back. Okay, there you are. 12 1/2 inch heart block. Very pretty. So get it here where you can see it a little better. Working in a tight space today. Okay, there it is. So now all you have to do is make your 9 patch, and that's your 5 4.5 inch background squares and your 4 4.5 inch print squares. If you haven't already made your extra one, your 13th one, this will be a good week to do it. Next week will be our last vintage block, so we'll be able to put our quilt top all together if you have all of your non-patches done as well. So the PDF instructions are in the description box. You can look at that on your computer, or your tablet, or your phone, whatever, or you can print it out. And you've got a set of instructions for just your basic block in the heart design, heart shape. Okay, we'll see you next week for the last block, number 12. And have fun with this one. And if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments or send me an email at lessonslearnt2021. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.